Hey guys, this is Lil with another raid video. Today I was going to do, like my last video, which was a full guide on the optimizer and installing it and how to use it. Going to do the same deep dive guide on RSL Helper. We've got quite a bit to go through, so I will put timestamps in so that you guys can just flick to the bit that you're interested in, or you can watch it end to end. By all means, I will go back to that optimizer video and also add some timestamps on there just to make it a bit easier to navigate. So there's a lot to get through, so apologies, we're going to cut straight to it and we're going to talk all about RSL Helper and how to use it and all the different things you can use it for. Okay, so first things first, we need to download RSL Helper. This is where you go, just put that into your browser, it will download the setup file, run that, and then you will be left with, let's close this down. You will be left with an RSL Helper icon. Oh, sorry, you can't see that because I moved the screen. You'll be left with an RSL Helper icon here. Click that. It will give you that little warning saying, "Are you sure you want to run this?" etc. Just say yes. Apologies, I zoomed in the screen a little bit because just to get RSL Helper sort of front and center so you could see it a bit better. Okay, so when you run it, you need Polarium Play, RAID installed on Polarium Play to use RSL Helper, and then when you load it up, it will log you in and it'll launch your game as the last account that you were logged in as, and then we've got the RSL Helper window right here. So first things first, so that's your install done and you're good to go. First things first, let's talk about how you can run, different ways to run things in RSL Helper. So first we'll go to one of the dungeons, we'll pick Ice Golem, and then we can hit go. I won't, in fact I will, quickly. So we can hit go and that will then load our team in. So you can see here I've just selected go and it brings up my team, all their masteries, their books, etc. I can click into one of these and it will take me full deep dive into all of their gear. Then I can click back, I can do the same with their skills. You can browse your full champion library just there, and you can click through and look at them and take screenshots and what have you. And then down at the bottom here is where it sort of shows you, what you're current running. Yeah, so how many turn counts am I at? How many runs have we done? What stage? What's the average run time? What's our win percent chance? Yeah, how many fails have we had? Now, if you want to use this for farming over and over, let's say it's a fusion or there's an event going on. In fact, I need to do this because I haven't done the Ice Golem tournament yet. So up at the top here, so down the left hand side is sort of all your settings, all your options, number of runs. Yeah, so I could say I want to run 40 runs, and then I could hit the play. Apologies because I'm in the way. I need to move that way. There you go. Play button right there. Yep. So just hit play, and that will run 40 times. You can also do your runs based on events and tournaments. So if you want to reach a certain threshold, this is my favourite feature, if I'm honest. So Ice Golem, and what I want to do, my group is really low at the moment, so I think 3k points will probably get me some Relentless gear, and I'm more than willing to put that energy in. I'm not doing the Titan tournament, thank God. I've not heard great things about it. I don't think it's worth it for the amount of resources. So I can pick the Epic Tome, and then I just close this, and it tells me up at the top here my current points, 325. And then I can see across the bottom where I'm at. You know, the green bar sort of shows where I'm at versus where I'm aiming towards. It's highlighted in green. And again, if I hit, is it that way? If I hit the play button, then that'll just keep going until I reach that many points. Yeah, and obviously down at the bottom, do I want to auto refill? Do I want to auto sell gear? going to get onto auto-selling gear and rules and importing them later. So that's sort of your running dungeons. You can do something like run infinitely, which is just keep running. So when it gets up to enough energy restored, sort of ticking over time, it'll do another run. Or you could do run effective resources, which is just keep going until my current energy pool is done. So there's a few ways that this changes. So that's, event points is great for fusions. Just run this many runs is great. There are a few areas where you get additional options. So the first one is Minnow. So Minotaur, you can come in and suddenly you get a Minnow Scrolls option. So if I was to hit go, then I can see where people are up to in terms of their scrolls, and then I can set how many scrolls I want them to get and hit play. Again, I would tick auto refill, hit play, and that'll keep going right until Frostbringer has full masteries. If I didn't want her to get full masteries and I just wanted her to, let's say, get 750, so she could just get that tier 6, I could just change that, hit play, and again, I keep covering the play button, there you go. I'll just say play and not move every time from now on. Hit play, and that'll just keep going, and it'll keep auto-refilling energy until she's got those masteries. There is another advanced option under the little pencil button here, which is if you want to run multiple champs in for scrolls, or you could queue champs, so once she's done, then go and flip somebody else in. I've never used that. I would just do them one at once because it takes long enough as it is, and we're not getting that on Super 8. So yeah, you can run multiple champs up as well as a single champ using that option. The other area where it changes is potion keeps. So you can come into the potion keeps, you can set that running, and then you can say, keep running that until I have 20 superior pots, and then just hit play, and it will just keep running that dungeon until you've got that many. Okay, done. Oh, minimum damage we haven't talked about. So the other area is if we go into Hydra, let's just take a, yes, I know that the clash hasn't started yet, just take my brutal team that I was playing with last week and hit go, and then again obviously it's loaded in all my champs and all their stats and all their masteries, but what it's also, in fact I need to come here, again under the edit button is the content wizard, as it's called. So I can pick Hydra, and then I could say, yes, I want you to auto-target damage, and I want you to give me the maximum chest on Nightmare. In fact, I'm on Brutal, aren't I? So max chest on Brutal. Or I could say, do you know what? I know this team can do about 200 million on Brutal, so I'm going to say, has to be 250. I think it's 6 zeros for a million, right? Yeah. So yeah, you can just put in the minimum damage you want, and again, hit play, and that will keep free regrouping until this team hits that amount of damage. So it doesn't do any targeting or anything for you, but it'll just keep running your team until they hit the damage threshold that you want, and then it'll save that key once it gets over that point. I'm going to stop this because we don't want to sit here for an hour while this Hydra team runs. I've got to be honest, I've never used that. I usually run Hydra just on my phone in my pocket at the weekend, if I'm honest. But that's a cool feature. You can just leave it running during your day. I might start using that, to be fair. It's quite new. Okay, so that's the sort of running your dungeons, farming champs, farming XP. So again, I'll hit go so we can see it in action. So here you might say, this is sort of under the run mode set of options here. Next to max XP. You could go all the current champs to max XP, or you could go multi-level XP, which is having it pick your food, take your your food champs in and out. There you go. So I want to rank up, yeah, the 2 stars it's already got, plus 3, 4 stars, plus 3, 3 stars. Hit go, and that'll keep running and auto refilling until those champs are max level. Again, I could untick auto refill and say just run effective resources, and it'll keep going until I run out of energy. Now I'm not going to, because we don't want to sit here while we farm loads of stuff. Up at the top here, you can see it tells me how many 1-star champs, 2-star champs, 3-star champs, etc. I've got. So what you could do, and I do this on like my referral accounts that I've been leveling up, is go, do you know what, 2-star, we're going to auto select them. I don't care who you rank up, just rank up 2-star champs. Yep. And then I would hit the, and then you can pick how many of those 2-star champs do I want it to rank up. Let's say multiples of 3, 21. Auto select. This is just telling me that some of those are already selected, and then it will go and pre-pick those, and I can just hit go. And you can do that with as many as you want. Yeah, so let's say that we also wanted to rank up 3 of these 3-star chickens, and again, let's call this 9. Auto select, and it will just at random pick those champs to go and get leveled up. And again, then you can just hit play and it'll rank all those up. One of the other options here is if you want to put a few levels into people. So you can see here you've got this level limit down the side for the different star of champ. You just click use level limit and then say, right, I want to, on 3 of the 3-star champs, yeah, auto select, and that will then no longer level them to max, it will level them to whatever this level limit is. So on and I've changed some of these because I usually farm Nightmare, but it comes with the defaults in, I think, based on Brutal, so how many, what levels it typically gets to based on runs in Brutal. So how many of these guys got? So yeah, that's really good for when you're just ranking up your food just before you feed it to put some levels into it. If you don't want to do that with brews, I usually use brews, it's totally up to you. That's multi-level XP for sort of ranking up your champs, and level limits. That's mainly it. I mean, obviously you can, yeah, if you want, you can just go, where's my clear? Let me just close that. You can just go, next to max XP if you just want to pick the champs yourself, that's fine. But this is the, replacing that multi-battles option. Okay, so obviously you've got a few options here, like when to start. I've never used that, but I presume this is you pick a time and tell it when you want it to start the runs, and then shut down when finished. Again, I don't really use that, but it shuts down RSL Helper and Raid when you're finished. Okay, so let's talk. We've done multi-level XP, that's good. Let's talk about managing artifacts, which is one of the other areas. Well, let's talk about the forge first. Let's do auto forging first, and then we'll do artifacts. So, and again, we'll get into selling rules, but for now, just how auto forge works. You come into the forge, you set what glyphs you want, if any, what charms you want and glyphs, and then you will see a new button appear, which is auto forge down at the bottom here, and then you just set how many you want. How many can I do? I can do 23, so for the sake of this video, let's do 3 crafts of resilience gear. I've told it to use my sell rules, so it's going to auto sell artifacts if they don't match the stats and substats that I want. Hit play, and you'll see it just automatically selling, hands-free, crafting and selling my gear, because my sell rules say sell everything relentless. Sell everything resilience, because I don't want it or need it. It's not useful for my account. As off pieces, I'll live without it. It's not worth me keeping it. Obviously, depends where you're at, but I'm not going to go into that right now. I'm not going to go into different selling rules. Right, but that is a great time to talk about selling rules. So down at the bottom here, you'll see auto sell artifacts, and then you've got a sell settings. This is your selling rules, your gear keep or sell rules. And it's prioritized, so it starts with number 1 and then it goes down. So, for example, at the moment, Rathalos set and Merciless set are really rare, so I'm going to be re-rolling any flat stat pieces that I get in those gear sets. So I've just said keep everything. Doesn't matter what it is, just keep it for now. And I've put that above my rule number 4, which says sell anything that's a flat stat on the bottom row. I've got an entire video talking about gear and how I prioritize gear and the things I look for in gear and gear sets. For the most part, it's ignore rubbish sets and only look for damage stats in damage gear. And look for, tanky stats in tanky gear, more or less. I've got a whole video talking about it, so go and check that out. It's also got a link to this actual cell file if you want to use it yourself. So how you would load that, so if you want to save, if you want to back up yours, for example, you go save setup as, and then you can pick to save it. It comes out as a little data file. Hit save, and then if you want to load it, so you just click the load button, go to wherever you've got that saved. So here's my free-to-play version of that. I've got a backup of them. Yep, and then you just load that in. And obviously, just in terms of how these work, if we make a rule, so let's just take a rule as an example. Here we go. So Savage gear. So this rule says keep anything that's in the artifact set of Savage that's a chest, 6-star, epic or above, and has attack percent and crit rate. And it says that for all chests. Yeah, so I've got 3 rules here that say in Savage, the only chests that I want you to keep are defense percent, HP percent, attack percent, accuracy and resist get sold. And I only want you to keep those if they've got a crit rate substat. Now, you could argue that if it had crit rate or crit damage, you would keep it, or if it had crit rate or attack percent. Typically, what I want is 2 good substats together. And you'll see that in most of my rules, like if we take a look here. So here's the general Savage rules, yeah? Keep anything that's 6-star rare as long as it's got crit rate. Otherwise, this rule's kind of irrelevant at this point because I added in the crit rate rule. But here you go, keep it if it's crit rate and damage. Keep it if it's attack percent, main stat, boots, and speed substat. Keep all speed boots. Keep all speed boots, obviously. But yeah, you get the idea. So here's like the lethal rules. Interesting, I don't have the standard crit rate. I must have taken, that must have been a change. So here it says, in lethal, keep crit rate HP, crit rate attack, crit rate defense, crit damage, crit rate, keep speed and crit rate. Basically, it's got to have crit rate. If it hasn't got crit rate in lethal, I'm probably not keeping it. There's an argument to say, and if I wanted to, I would go insert at, would add the same rule below that I could then edit. That's how I like to add them. Now, arguably, I would say, do you know what? Crit damage and a damage multiplication stat are also fine. So I could do this and then edit rule, change this one to attack percent, save, and then insert again, and then change this one to defense percent, save. I would say that's more accurate because now my rule set says if it's crit damage and a crit and a damage multiplier, keep it. If it's crit rate and a damage multiplier, keep it. Or if it's crit rate and another useful stat like accuracy, not ideal, but there's a lot of times that you do want it. Or if it's just got crit rate, crit damage, or if it's got crit rate, speed. Any of those, again, for me, 2 substats, 2 good substats it needs to have. So this gives me all those combinations. For me, damage gear, crit rate, crit damage, speed, or damage multiplier. They're the 4 things I want. So if you find any 2 of those together, then keep it. I'm gonna have to edit this file en masse in a text editor because you can These are all number codes, and it comes out as lines in a text editor if you want to edit it on bulk, which is what I'll now be doing later on tonight. Now that I've added that rule in, because I often find that I'm lacking the damage multiplier stat. But that's and obviously you can prio those up and down. You could say, do you know what? It's got to have exactly these stats, or I'm binning you. That's how cell rules work. Like I said, I've got that video explaining my approach to gear sets, but it's mainly, only keep damage stats in damage gear. Don't look for damage stats in Defiant. Yeah, there are some sets that I think of as both. Stone Skin. I want to keep tanky gear in Stone Skin, and I also want to keep damage gear in Stone Skin. Same with Relentless. That's why those sets appear in both my rule sets. I've got kind of a damage gear rule set, then general rules of just keep good gear if it's got these substats, and then a sort of tanky gear. Your Defiant, your Immortal, your Regen, your Guardian, where it's more about those survivability stats. So you can see here, if something's got to have HP or defense. Anyway, I did say we wouldn't talk too much about that. Okay, so also worth touching on, and then I think we're almost done. Second time round recording this video, and it's going faster, which is good, because I always talk too much. The last, and I would say one of the most powerful things that you can do with RSL Helper is use it to sort your gear. So, again, sorry, I should talk about the tabs across the top here. You can see your Hydra Clash results under the first one. You can see your Mercy tracker on this one. I'm sorry, I don't use this. I don't exclusively pull my shards in RSL Helper. I'm not totally sure how this bit works, so go and watch. If you go and watch another video on the Mercy tracker, I'm sorry. This is like the calculator for how good is that offer. This one is accuracy resist. So yeah, if a boss has 300 resist, then how much accuracy do I need? Yeah, 350 is going to give you a 96%. Okay, but I've only got 320. Well, that's dropping you 1 percentage point. So are you going to notice that? I leave that to you. But it helps you go, okay, if I'm at 300, then you're starting to drop down to 92% chance to land. And then obviously you've got like your damage multipliers. So looking at crit damage versus damage multiplication stat and how they impact. Down at the bottom is Clan Boss loot tracker. So how you're doing for the month. Again, I mainly play on mobile and I use RSL Helper for farming. So that mine is not up to date here. But if it was, this would be, what I'd earned from Clan Boss over time. Then you've got, we already talked about the, there's the resources tab, yeah, so how many shards you've got, how much energy you've got, etc. The champion tab, where you can go and take a look at your champs. Oh, you're going to crash again. I knew it. I will be back in 1 second whenever he started RSL Helper. Okay, apologies guys. Funnily enough, it crashed at about the same part when I recorded this video earlier and realised that the sound on it was terrible, so re-recording. Okay, so the last tab across the top, not the last one, but the last one we're talking about, is the inventory. And this shows you all your gear. And you can opt to look at gear that's on people. I wouldn't try and sell it from here while it's equipped on people. It's just, it prompts all kinds of confirmation dialogues in the game client, and it's a bit of a pain. You can do it when it's like free gear removal is way easier. I wouldn't try and do it otherwise. So here obviously you can look through, okay, show me all my 5-star, 6-star, legendary, epic pieces, only show me all of my resistance gear. There you go, I've got loads, including equipped. I got a bit more equipped, it's being muled by people. You can also get a bit more granular and say, okay, show me all of my triple speed rolls. There you go. Including what's equipped on people. So I can see these are triple speed rolls that nobody's wearing right now. Or I could say, show me all my gear that does not have speed. And like what I might be interested in is, show me all gear in speed set that doesn't have speed. And you can see I've still got some. I would probably delete some of this. So you can do show me everything that's under level 8. And then you can say, you can select it and you could go, right now I want you to rank that up to level 8. And hit play. Oh, I haven't opened the inventory tab. That would help. This wasn't working earlier, so it'll be interesting if it works now. Hold on. There we go. So that's auto-upgraded that item to level 8. Now, obviously, you wouldn't do that on a single item. I just did that for the benefit of this. What I would do is go, show me all gear that is under level 8. And let's say that does have speed. There you go. And then I would go, right, okay, take these. And then I would hit play. And that would rank, that would level all those items up to level 8. Or you could go everything. Yeah, 238 items that aren't rolled. And I could just go play. And that would level all of those up to level 8. I'm not going to, because it's not an artifact enhancement event. But yeah, and then I could sort them out later in terms of do I want to keep them or not based on that. Now, I'm just going to clear that. So, just in terms of, you can use the same auto sell rules here. So there they are again, the same ones. And you can say, right, of my gear, what doesn't match my own rule sets? Yeah, maybe you've been farming on your phone. Maybe you keep things you shouldn't, because we all do. Like, I can see like cursed gear here, yeah? Like, now strictly speaking, I wouldn't keep this because it's not epic. I don't keep rare pieces. But my cursed gear isn't very good, so I've kept that on purpose, yeah? Because I know my cursed gear isn't very good. Could go and tweak my rule sets every time, but I don't really want to. Like here, this 5-star defense, but do you know what? I'll lose 10% defense. That's okay, because it's ascended into a good roll. It's got a double speed roll. The RSL Helper cell rules do not care about your rolls, yeah? So like if you took my file and you just ran it on all your gear, it would, if your best speed pieces, your quad speed roll has rubbish other substats, my rule set would sell it, yeah? And that's something to be aware of before you blindly run something like that, yeah? So like what I typically do is I would go, okay, let's start with run it on everything that's level 8, yeah? Okay, what have I got that's, and do you know what? I'm going to sell all of this. What have I got that came into my account that maybe I eyeballed it? Like this one I can see. The only reason I've kept this piece is because it's a mythical and it's got a mythical roll in speed. Yeah, so I'll roll it and I'll see if it does hit speed. Because if it does, then I'll keep it. But technically, under my rule set, it says no. Just like this one. Do I want speed and crit damage together on perception? Not really. So what you would do is you would say, right, okay, show me everything that doesn't have speed, that's not been rolled yet, or is only rolled to level 8, and then I didn't think it was good enough to roll it any further. Add them all to queue, and then I would hit sell in game, and then you can hit add them all to the sell list. And that will go through, find all those bits of gear in game, and then you can hit sell. I'm not going to, because I'm going to roll those couple of mythical pieces that had speed rolls. They probably came in the account this morning when I grabbed my hydra chest. You can do that one by one. Yeah. So again, if you hit sell in game and then you start clicking these, it will select them in game, and then you can sell them from there. Okay, and I think the only last thing to show you, not that I'm sure lots of you will use it, is so obviously that's rolling gear, that's selling gear, and using the auto sell rules to do that. And the last thing that's worth talking about is, I should say, there's a settings tab here, so you can change the theme, you can set your frame rate to unlimited, you can do things like tweak the forge click time, like, you know, initially I set these as really low, and then you find that actually the game sort of glitches out sometimes, so 500 milliseconds. You can copy these. You can use the create auto sell rules yourself, and what that does is every time you sell a piece of gear, it'll write a rule for that. So if you sell a 5-star accuracy chest with accuracy that has a speed, defense and HP substat, it will write a rule exactly for that, and then whenever you get one of those again, it'll sell it again. Yep, so that's all there's loads of rules in here, so you know, you can go and tweak these you know, as you wish. And the last thing that's worth touching on briefly is multi-instances. So if you run multiple accounts, there's a little plus button up in the top here, and it says, I'm going to close Polarium Play and restart it, and you say yes. And that then lets you log into Polarium Play as a different account. So I'm going to log in as my free-to-play account. And then I hit play. And that lets me run multiple raid accounts on the same RSL Helper. And all it does, if it loads eventually. No, still thinking about it. And what that does is it will just add another tab across the top, and then you can just run both accounts. There we go, it is loading. And then you can just run both accounts at the same time, so you can have one of them farming minnow for masteries while the other one's going and doing your ice golem, which is probably what I'm going to do right now with both of those accounts. Yeah, so you've got, again, and you can have different rules here. You can have a different sell file, so you can see this one's my free-to-play. It keeps 5-star gear, where my main account doesn't keep 5-star gear, and then you can just manage both accounts from one RSL Helper. Okay guys, that's it from me. That's my end-to-end guide on RSL Helper. I don't think I missed anything. If I did miss your favourite feature, I'm sorry. I tried to cover it all off in as short a time as I could. Thank you all for watching, if you made it this far, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks all. Bye.